Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Butt Fumble Sports Night Show, a subscriber-only show. You guys know how we do. When we do a show at night, it is exclusively for subscribers to comment, get their questions in. We want to pay off their payment to us. So if you guys are subscribers, get your questions in for NFL Week 17. You guys want to talk about anything else, rant about what's going on in the sports world, talk about some sports bets, whatever you guys want to talk about, that's why I come on live. It is for you guys. So if you got questions, comments, just want to rant about something, we are here for you. Of course, if you're in your fantasy football championship, I know this is a crucial week, here to help you guys out. Respawn is asking for my top quarterbacks this week. The names that quickly came off the list in the I love them list for quarterbacks: Derek Carr, Brock Purdy, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, Matthew Stafford. Those are a few names that are at the top of my list. IP Shade 45, thanks so much. IP, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Hope you spent it with family and friends, having a lot of fun. I know you enjoyed that Raiders win. I didn't when it came to my sports bets, but I was happy to see that your team got a win. Majomes, my running backs are Jacob. Evans would cover, but I did not expect an absolute nothing burger. So, kind of interesting to see what we have going our way with Brock Purdy. I love his matchup this week, but it's a little tricky if we trust him or not. Sorry, my live froze. Did you say Dak or Stafford? Respawn, I said Dak. Dak Prescott's who I'd be riding with. IP Shade 45, can you show my Raiders some love with AOC being trash and still winning? I loved what people said in that he was the member of the group project that still got an A despite absolutely failing his teammates. Yeah, he was a disappointment and yet got that dub. Antonio Pierce is coaching his way to getting that job permanently. I don't see how Mark Davis can fire Antonio Pierce after what his Raiders have done over the last month. Really impressive. Majomes, Rams or Ravens defense? Majomes, I'd go Rams defense. Rams defense would be the play for me. If you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, or Kick, we are here to help you guys out with your fantasy teams. Any questions you may have, fire away. That's why I come on live. It is a subscriber-only show, so you have to subscribe to comment. Deadpool, you might have missed our show earlier. I had a rant about why I didn't think Lamar Jackson deserved to be MVP this year, so that was my take. Justin Lane left Amari on the bench. Yeah, shaking my head is right. Very unfortunate. AD, thoughts on the Bears defense? I like them this week. They've been such a consistently good play over the last few that I continue to think the Bears are worth giving some opportunities to in the defense. If you guys have a question, fire away. I'm here for as long as you guys want me to be on. I promised I'd be on at 10:15, and Butt Fumble Sports is like the Joker. We're a man of our word. Respawn, pick 3. I'd go DJ Moore, Metcalf, and Mike Evans. Respawn, DJ Moore, Metcalf, and Mike Evans would be the 3 for me, Respawn. Appreciate you being on the show. Love talking sports with you. Majomes, Christian McCaffrey, 40 points on Sunday. I don't know about that, but I certainly love the optimism. He could have a massive day. I don't want to actually laugh at it. He could have a massive day against the Commanders, but 40 points feels like a little bit too high, but you never know. Christian McCaffrey has that in him. If he did have that kind of day, I would hope it would vault him into the MVP frontrunner spot that I feel like he deserves. I think he deserves to be the MVP frontrunner right now, not Lamar Jackson. Who should I start? Amari, Higgins, Lockett, or Rice? Justin Lane, I'm saying Rice this week. I do. So if you guys want to join Justin Lane, in fact, guys over on YouTube, forgive me, I might cut us off on YouTube. The connection's not great, not your fault, it's mine. I've got some people in the house who are using the internet, and I don't have a great internet to begin with. So I might cut off our YouTube account a little bit early if I continue to see some problems with our connection on TikTok. That said, Justin Lane, I was saying go with Rashee Rice. Justin Lane, I was saying Rashee Rice. Respawn, best defense this week could easily be the Browns on Thursday night. Would absolutely expect them to have a monster performance. However, a few of the other defenses I like this week, the Rams defense, I like the 49ers defense could have a massive week against the Commanders. That's another one that's definitely on my eye. Any others that really catch me? No, that's actually kind of it right now. Is kind of the top 3 top 3 defenses. If you guys Respawn, yeah, I like the Bills against the Patriots. Yeah, Justin Lane, Achan or Ford? I'd go Ford. Ford's the better play this week, Justin. Appreciate you giving those roses. Majomes, they should have MVP for each O-line, running backs, QB. It's kind of interesting that you say that, an MVP for each position. I kind of like that, but don't we call that like the all-pro team? Isn't that what's supposed to, the all-pro team, isn't that what's supposed to be the credit to each position? So I don't know if we need like 11 MVPs, 22 MVPs. Kind of defeats the point of an MVP. If you've got multiple MVPs on the same team, I guess one of them's not an MVP.
Because they couldn't possibly be the most valuable player if you have two most valuable players. But to me, I mentioned it earlier, I won't go into the full rant now that I did earlier, but Christian McCaffrey's my MVP. Brock Purdy actually disappointing last night, kind of solidified my vote, ironically. A lot of people are making it out like Lamar Jackson solidified his status as the MVP with the win last night. I thought Christian McCaffrey, even in a game where his team did not perform up to standard, he was still exceptional. He has had a great year from week 1 all the way through week 16. I literally don't know what we could ask more of Christian McCaffrey. He runs, he catches, he blocks. I just don't understand it. But Jones, are you rooting for Mahomes' downfall like I am? Of course not. I'm not rooting for his downfall.
Hell no. It was a ludicrous statement months ago. It's a ludicrous statement now. People were trying to make it like Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowls were somehow being challenged by Patrick Mahomes' 2. I am happy to see that some of the Patrick Mahomes, like, fever is coming down, but I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes fail in the process. I just want us to all wise up to the fact that sometimes there are things about the players we praise that are being overhyped. Mahomes is a great player, but he has had a Hall of Famer on his offense every year he's been in the league. He's either had Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce or both every year he's been a quarterback. Tom Brady went plenty of years where he was both an MVP candidate and a Super Bowl candidate, and he didn't have any Hall of Famers on his roster. So for me, I gotta believe Patrick Mahomes' love needs to be taken down just a little bit. D-star and choose 2. I'd go Ayuk and I'd go Rice. I like Justin Jefferson a lot, so it's tough for me not to take him.
If you had a flex spot, I put in JJ, but I love Ayuk and I love Rice's matchups this week. Commanders and the Bengals are 2 of the worst pass defenses in the league, so Ayuk and Rice would be there. Lanny1, thanks for the tips. I'm assuming you're talking about the NBA tonight. We gave out some good picks so far. Hopefully our picks can continue to do well, even as I may have jinxed us just now, but I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm really hoping that unfortunately we're going to lose the Pacers-Rockets game. That was my best bet of the night, and it's going to be the one that we lose, but other than that, we've done pretty well. Man, that Grizzlies-Pelicans game coming down to the end. Yeah, Lanny1, I'm rooting for the Rockets, but I don't think it's going to happen. Well, less than 10 seconds to play, so unfortunately, that's going to be a pick that we miss. Yeah, Lanny1, funny how that worm worked for us. But Jones, do you think Jacobs and Zamir split touches if Jacob plays? Split touches, not a 50-50 split. I think it's closer to a 70-30 in favor of Jacobs. Lanny1, we're still looking pretty good. But now we need those Pelicans, Lanny1. We need the Pelicans to get that dub. Let's hopefully, we'll accept the Rockets being the one loss. Hopefully we can get the Pelicans that money line win. If you guys have fantasy questions, sports betting questions, you want to rant about what's going on in the sports world, you've come to the right place. Butt Fumble Sports is live for you guys, so make sure you get your questions and comments in. I'll be as live as long as you guys want. EMN, thanks for your help throughout the season. Now I'm in the ship. What's your favorite defenses this week? Talked about it literally seconds ago. Some of my favorite defenses are the Cleveland Browns. I really like the Chicago Bears. That's one I didn't mention a moment ago. Love the Rams defense. Love the 49ers defense. There aren't a lot of defenses on the waiver wire if that's what you're thinking, EMM. Love having some opportunities to talk sports with you guys. If you guys have questions, fire away. William Creek, Raiders D is hot. No kidding. They are red hot, and they're getting pressure on the quarterbacks. I like it. What fantasy questions do you have for us? Jones, what fantasy questions do I have for you? I have no fantasy questions for you. My only questions are, if I had questions for you, how can I make my show better? How can we make our content better? How can we create a better experience for all you fans out there? If you guys have feedback, if you have suggestions, honestly, I see a lot of people on social media now doing what we've been doing now for 2 years, which is talking fantasy football, talking sports betting. I don't have a problem with it, but I want to make sure that our content is superior to theirs. I want to make sure the viewing experience for you is superior. So if you guys have comments, advice, tips, suggestions, criticism, I'm here for all of it. I love getting feedback from you guys on how we can make the experience better, because if we make it better, I'm sure you'll keep watching, and that's what's most important for us, is continuing to hold you guys as a viewer. That's why we made this company. It's because we love creating sports content. We want to make sure that we do the best we can every day. Maybe our betting record for SHARPZ plays on the screen. Lanny won, that's really hard to do. So Lanny won, that probably isn't going to happen because it's actually much harder for me to do. So I will admit what we're capable of doing and not. Maybe our betting record for SHARPZ plays of the day on there. We can do that. But honestly, I don't like advertising that because it gives a false impression of how many picks we give out. I can do that, Lanny one, if you want. But frankly, you guys kind of know what we're going for. Jorge, Jaren Jackson did fail us tonight. We bounce back tomorrow with the NHL. Looking forward to it. D-Star-N. Josh Jacobs, Mixon, Achin, and Barkley. D-Star-N, I'd go Jacobs and Barkley. Jacobs and Barkley. Majomes, roast the haters more. It's interesting. So normally I actually love the haters. The haters they feed me. I feed off of hate. I get stronger off of hate. But every once in a while I do need to rip into them. It's more like when people bitch to me, they're like, you told me to sit this player, and now I lost. And it's like, man, what a bitch. Like, is that how you go through life? You get advice from someone, and then when it doesn't work out like, you go back to them and you bitch? If you don't want to take advice from them again, that's fine. But do you go back to them and bitch about it? No, you just move the frick on. Like, oh my God. Honestly, though, I will admit, some people get pretty salty about it. Jorge, since it's a night show, why do you like Jacobs so much? It's a match he's coming off an injury. Yeah, I understand that. It's one of the reasons I am recommending picking up Zamir White as a backup policy. But I love the matchup against the Colts. The Colts are not a good run defense, so I love Josh Jacobs for that. Best Doggos, 6-8, made it to the playoffs, being the best of the worst teams. 9-5, now in the top 2. Best Doggos, you're a championship story for us. I hope you succeed in the championship round. Honestly, I'm loving you guys DMing me on Instagram saying, hey, I made my championship or I won my championship thanks to your advice. I certainly will admit that makes me feel really good. But we do this every day in the hopes that everybody succeeds with our advice. We know we're not going to bat 1,000. We know we're not going to bat 90%. We're really hoping we do as well as we can for as many as you as that watch. So for those that hate, feel free to give it. But for those that show the love, we certainly appreciate it. If you guys want to comment on tonight's show, ask questions, comments, anything else, feel free to hit that subscribe button and throw your comment in the chat. Jorge, bro, it's called advice. You don't have to follow. Do your own research. Go with your gut. Fantasy is 60% skill, 40% luck. Shut those haters down. Jorge, I love the take. I kind of feel the same way. I do feel like fantasy is about 60% skill, 40% luck. You can do research throughout the week. You can do a lot. But ultimately, when TJ Hawkinson gets hit directly on the kneecap and blows out his ACL and his MCL, not a lot we can do about it. Ledix, been a while. Hope all is well. Ledix, I hope you're doing well. I hope your family's healthy and safe. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season. I got to admit, there are some handles that I see that's like, man, that's a loyal one. It's great to see you, Ledix. Great to see you back in the show. One of my favorites. Majomes, I really do like Brandon Cooks this week, and I don't like Amari Cooper. I understand Amari Cooper is literally coming off the greatest day in Browns franchise history, but he's got a bad matchup against the Jets. Brandon Cooks has a good matchup against the Lions. It's kind of where I go. Jorge, skill with the waiver wire, good player in draft. I totally agree. I think the skill comes down to how you manage the roster, how you select the players that you do. But honestly, injuries are out of my control. To exactly your point, when it comes to sports betting, I get upset when, like tonight, Jaren Jackson just disappointed us. I'll take that one. Jaren Jackson, the trends didn't hold up. But when a player gets hurt and we don't hit on something, you got to let it go. You can't live with this stuff in such a way. I'll say to you guys often, I don't place bets or I don't place an amount of money on a bet that would make it hard for me to sleep at night. I always got to be able to sleep at night, no matter what I'm doing, no matter how I'm betting. Same goes for fantasy. I do the best I can. I give it the best research I can. And when it's all said and done, you just got to move on. Devin Durant, Flacco or Minshew? To be honest, I don't like either one this week. If I had to go with one, I'd probably go Minshew. But that's all predicated on Michael Pittman Jr. playing, Devin. So if Pittman Jr. plays, I like Minshew more. But they're certainly not two of my favorite quarterbacks this week. In fact, Gardner Minshew and Joe Flacco made the QB hate list this week for me. Letix, I'd go Kyler Murray. I don't like Browning this week. Letix, go Kyler. Best doggos, I'd go Gibbs, Swift. Gibbs and Swift for sure. I'm not crazy about the remaining group, to be honest. I'd probably go Kamara, but best doggos, I don't like those other three. So Gibbs and Swift are must starts for me out of the group, but I don't like the rest of them. By the way, I'm not crazy about Gibbs. I just think he's been so hot of late, I'd ride with it. William Creek quarterbacks, CJ Stroud, Justin Fields, Kyler Murray. Tricky. If CJ Stroud's healthy, he's the play. If not, I'd go Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has the better matchup. Jorge, in a long line for halal food, can't miss a show from BF. Jorge, are you on 53rd Street? Are you at the halal guys on 53rd Street? I'm there like a lot, so Jorge, let me know if that's where you're watching. It would just be a real trip for me to know that. Carolina N, waiver wire pickup. I'd probably lean towards Noah Brown. It's more about I like the matchup that the Texans have more. Obviously, I'm saying that hoping CJ Stroud plays, but Carolina N, Noah Brown's probably the better pickup for me. Derek Kraft, I'd go Stroud if he's healthy. Stafford's a fine play. I like CJ Stroud more if he's not healthy, but I love it. Jorge, what a trip. You're out at Halal Guys on 53rd. Jorge, we got to hang out in real life. I split my time between Boston and New York, so I'm there quite frequently. We got to get together off the air, shoot the shit, watch some sports together. The Halal Guys on 53rd are my go-to when it comes to halal food. Spent Christmas with the family in D.C., then came for the week because my mom wanted to visit New York. Oh, so you're not there permanently. I got you. I'm not going to be in New York this week, or otherwise I'd hit you up. Majomes, #1 seed in the NFC prediction. I still think it's going to be the 49ers. I think the 49ers win these final two games of the year between the Commanders and against the Commanders and the Rams. And I think the 49ers punch their ticket to the #1 seed. It's so valuable that I do think they're going to play the next 2 weeks like their playoff run depends on it. So, Majomes, I do feel like the 49ers will ultimately be the #1 seed. Carolina N, Bears or Rams defense. I'd go Rams defense. I like the Rams a little bit more just because the Giants give up so many sacks. That offensive line of the Giants is just terrible. Jorge, I spent half my time in New York, so you're more than welcome to come and we can get together. Best doggos, would you play CEH over Kamara if Pacheco's out? The answer is yes, I would. Do I think Pacheco's going to be out? No. But if he is, I would like CEH more than Kamara, best doggos, purely based on the matchup. Appreciate you guys joining. If you want to hit us up with a question, a comment, you want to join the show on the air, all you have to do is subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, then you can join the show. This is a subscriber-only show. Our night shows are for subscribers. Our shows during the weekday at 5 p.m., those are for everybody to comment and ask questions. But subscriber-only show at night, that's how we do. Nino Pena, do you believe Pittman and or Stroud play this week? I think Stroud's going to play. I don't know about Pittman. I am a little bit worried about that one. I think there's a greater chance Stroud plays, but maybe I'm just a little bit more hopeful on that because he's had the 2 weeks out as opposed to Pittman who's had the 1. Appreciate all of you guys taking time out of your day to watch our content. If I don't say it enough, thank you. We are so grateful that you guys take that time to watch us every day. Nas, I'd go Browns defense. Nas, Browns over Eagles. What a season it has been. It has flown by. Jorge, by the way, a rant about the Bulls with Caruso being great, Kobe White taking Lonzo's spot, Drummond taking Vucevic's spot. Lanny one, appreciate you being so nice about it. Here's what I would say about the Bulls. I think the Bulls are learning that life without some of their stars isn't going to be so bad. I actually hate how the Bulls constructed their roster. I think Chicago did one of the worst jobs over the last few years building a real good team. I think they took a bunch of names and thought they could just mash them together and they would have success. It's not how NBA basketball works. You really need balance across the floor. You need role players for certain objectives. I think the Bulls are, frankly, better now when they have the role players in connection. You just mentioned it. Caruso, Kobe White, Drummond. They know their roles. And I think they have too many players like a Zach LaVine who tries to be too many things. Lonzo Ball, who tries to be too many things. Know what you do well, do that thing, and the team benefits. It goes back to the, I hate saying it, but it is do your job. And I think the Bulls are better when guys know what their job is and can execute just that. David, start 4. David, I'd start Cup. I'd start Jefferson. I'd start Keenan Allen if he's healthy. And I would start Mike Evans. It might be Amon-Ra St. Brown who's the odd man out. Avery Paul, I saw that you hit me up about Outlier. Hope you love it. Avery Paul, I assure you it is worth the time. And if you do pay for it after 7 days, I think it's worth the money. I think it is the best research tool in sports betting. And I don't say that because they sponsor me. I've been using them before they sponsored our show, before they sponsored Butt Fumble Sports. So it's not because they sponsor us that I promote it. I was doing it even before they did. I'm a big fan of Outlier. I think they created a great product. Honestly, I think it is the best tool for looking at player prop bets anywhere. When it comes to game picks, I do use a couple other tools to kind of verify what I'm looking at, but I think Outlier is as good as it gets. Nino Pena, I'd go Gibbs. Nino Pena, I'd go Gibbs. If Brady went to the Niners, would he still be playing? No, I saw someone post that earlier today, like Brady would still be playing and he'd have 2 Super Bowls. I think people are rewriting history and they're just kind of forcing narratives that aren't true. Do I think Tom Brady would have won a Super Bowl with the 49ers? I actually do. Do I think he'd still be playing today? No, and the real reason, he has kids. I think there's a lot more to the Tom Brady situation than the selfishness of wanting to play to 45, 46, 47.
Just pulling names out of their ass. It's, oh, I like the Chiefs, so I'll bet the Chiefs. That's that second tier. And then the last tier, the bedrock people, those are the people like myself who spend hours, I spend hours every day looking at stats, trends, analytics, matchups to try to find the best bets. There are very few of us in this world. Outlier is made for those people. If you want to get better at sports betting, Outlier is the way to do it, Avery Paul. Surprise, surprise, a low-scoring Thursday night game. Nas, can I trust Pollard week 17? I don't think you can. Against the Lions, I don't feel great about it. Much like Ty Chandler last week, it would take a touchdown for me to justify any value he really has. Majomes, what bet last week did you almost put on the board that ended up hitting, and what's the bet this week? So interestingly enough, if we're just playing like hindsight, I thought the Ravens could pull off the win. I didn't bet it. I put 49ers money line. But Lamar Jackson being 19-1 now against the NFC, 18-1 prior to that game on Monday night, it was very much in my head. I was like, man, everyone thinks the Ravens are going to lose. But Lamar Jackson dominates the NFC. So I did bet the Ravens to cover. But if I could go back, like that was one in which I was like, man, I really feel like the Ravens could win this game. I didn't end up betting it, but that's one I missed. And you also asked, what's that bet this week? What's the bet this week that I'm like, I'm on the fence about? What's a bet this week that I'm on the fence about? I don't know yet, if I'm being honest. Here's one for you. Here's one. Steelers, Seahawks. Seahawks should win that game, right? Seahawks on the money line should be an easy win, right? There's a part of that that's like, yeah, but the Steelers are playing better. And the Seahawks have been barely squeaking out some fourth quarter wins. The Seahawks haven't been dominating teams. They've been barely winning. That's one for you. That's one that's like, I'm going to take the Seahawks on the money line, but there's a part of me that's like, there's a voice in the back of my head going, Mike Tomlin's one win away from getting above 500 for another season. That's just one on Majomes that I've got my eye on. When it comes to a player that I feel that way about, it's Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has a tough matchup this week against the Texans. Texans have been a really good run defense this year, but Derrick Henry historically has dominated the Texans. It is the team in his career that he has owned the most. He has had the best games against. That's the player where I'm like, damn, I'm a little bit nervous about it. I don't know how that one's going to break. So there are a few of those thoughts for you. Joe Modelo's made it to the finals. Let's go, Joe. Joe, you have been an amazing supporter of our show. You watch so loyally. I really appreciate all the gifts. I'm so happy you made it to the finals. I hope you feel like you got your money's worth for watching and supporting Butt Fumble Sports. I know you guys, when you guys contribute gifts, I know that's not a plaything. That's real money, and I am so grateful for it because actually, your money helps fuel, fund, and help grow our company. So, Joe Modelos, I'm so happy you made it to the finals, and I'm so thankful that you've been supporting our show. Hopefully, you continue to over the next year plus. Nas, start Swift over Pollard. Yes, Swift over Pollard. I love Rachaad White this week, and I would go with Pacheco. I like Swift, White, and Pacheco the most out of that group. Najee Harris would be fourth. Pollard would be fifth, believe it or not. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. If you do want to get your comments or your questions in, you gotta be a subscriber. The night shows are for subscribers only, so if you want to get your questions, your comments in, now is the time to do so, but you gotta be a subscriber. I am going to take off this sweatshirt because I am hot under the collar right now. I don't know if you guys can ever tell, but fantasy football, or if you just want to rant about sports. I love talking sports every day, so if you guys want to talk about playoff picture, MLB off season, NBA in season, I don't care. I'm here for you guys, so feel free to fire away with your questions. By the way, of course Pelicans Grizzly went to overtime. Brutal, brutal. I thought we had Pelicans money line as a clean win. Unfortunately, not the case. Nas, how do you feel about Cooper versus the Jets? I don't love it. I don't love the matchup. Pacheco is okay. I'll have to depend on Cooper in the flex. I'd rather go Pacheco, obviously, but I understand Thursday night versus Sunday. That's a long time to wait to know if Pacheco's okay. Best doggos, I'd go Okonkwo. I'm just not as big on Waller. I like Okonkwo's matchup a lot more. Yeah, Nas, I got you. If Pacheco's out, I got you, buddy. If you guys have a question, a comment, fire away. Our picks tonight did pretty well. We got the Nets correct. We got the Magic correct. We got... What else did we get? Oh my God! Hawks and Bulls. Hawks and Bulls went over, everybody. Hawks and Bulls went over. Unbelievable. We have only missed one game pick tonight. Ironically, it was the best bet of the night, so we fucked up on that. Forgive my language. We screwed up on that. The Rockets on the money line is the only game we've missed tonight. That's hilarious. It's only because who to start. Also have Purdy. Start Brock Purdy at quarterback. Start Kyron Williams. And if Josh Jacobs plays, I'd go Gus Edwards. If Jacobs doesn't play, I'd go White. At wide receiver, Thielen and Collins if CJ Stroud's healthy. And I think Reed would be the third. Mike Evans has been a great touchdown play, but he doesn't have a good matchup this week. That's part of my concern. Best doggos, Cup and Ayuk over Collins. Yes. Yes. You got it, best doggos. Nav, thanks for following. For all those who love the show, make sure you do follow. We're live every weekday at 5. Jason, I would go Hurts just because the rushing touchdown opportunities. I would go Jalen Hurts barely over Brock Purdy. It's because the opportunity to get a rushing touchdown along with the quarterback stats make him more valuable. But Jones, were all 4 interceptions Purdy's fault? Pretty close. Pretty close. I actually don't put it onto the receivers as much as I do put it. Brock Purdy had a bad game. Chalk it up as a bad game. I don't need to beat him up about it. Everyone's entitled to a bad game every now and then. Dude's had like a year and a half of great football. So he was due, and he faced a good defense. And frankly, what they did really well is they found ways to force him into situations to make bad decisions. I think too many teams have tried to like lean back and not respected his talents. I think the Ravens did a good job of pushing the envelope. Avery Paul, I'd go Nico Collins, and I'd go Devontae Adams. That's probably where I go. It's Collins if CJ Stroud is healthy. If not, I'd probably start Saquon. Come on, Pelicans. We need the Pelicans, everybody. We need the Pelicans to get that win. We can keep our winning streak alive for the night. We have missed only one NBA game pick so far. Pretty good. But Jones, seemed like the Niners were throwing so much more. Like you have McCaffrey, but you got to balance it. I know we say that, but the Ravens are such a good run defense. You got to create the holes for McCaffrey by throwing the football. So I don't have that big a problem with it. By the way, Kyle Shanahan's one of those offensive minds where I don't question it as much as some of these other guys out there. I feel like he had a game plan. Brock Purdy just wasn't able to execute it that well. I'd probably go Jaguars defense, just barely over Raiders, but it's close. Adams, does his 1-point game affect this chance? Yes, it does. No, Devontae Adams is not like a lock for me, but the Colts are not a great pass defense, so I do think there's a little bit of value there on Devontae Adams. Joe Modelis, okay, thanks, trying to snag Demarcus Robinson, the Browns defense from waivers. If you get the Browns defense, it's a steal. Majomes, I saw that. Harbaugh and Purdy, I saw that. Obviously, it's not a 1-to-1, but pretty interesting. I wish Harbaugh was still coaching the 49ers, the brother, because then it'd be even more of a funny narrative. But honestly, I just love that John Harbaugh came up to him and was like, hey, people think we look alike. It was like the first thing he said. I just thought that was a riot. What did what did Jackson get on points? He's got 17 points. He's got 17 points. He's got it. We hit the over. Because the game went into overtime, Jaren Jackson Jr. has 17 points, Jorge. So I guess there are small miracles that come with overtime. Jaren Jackson Jr., thank you so much. We will take it. Wow, that was shocking. I thought that bet was gone and dead. If you guys have a question or comment, fire away. Yeah, Jorge, I got it at 16.5, so the 17's making me feel really good. By the way, though, the Pelicans are down 4 points with under a minute to play, so that Pelicans bet not looking great. This would be their second loss in a row to the Memphis Grizzlies. Bad look for the Pelicans. Bad look. Yeah, Pelicans need to win this game, so hopefully they can get a quick win in the next few minutes. Of course, we would like that. Our bets are predicated on it, but we have been live for just about 45 minutes, a little bit short of that, 40 minutes. If you guys have a question or comment, fire away. Picks-wise, yeah, I don't know it, Avery Paul. I don't know it. If you guys have a question, a comment, you have to be a subscriber to write it in the chat, but once you subscribe, I'll answer as many questions as I can. Don't know how much longer I'm going to be on. It's going to be all predicated on your questions. Jason, 760, how do you feel about Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Cowboys? I don't love him. He's not one of my favorite plays of the week, that's for sure. I think he still has some value, but he's certainly not one of my favorite plays. The Cowboys are the 5th best pass defense in the NFL, so I'm not huge on Amon-Ra St. Brown this week. Nas, I'm really hopeful about Pacheco. Obviously, I have no idea. You think Pacheco clears? I have no idea. Concussions are really tricky, as we've just learned with C.J. Stroud. But if Pacheco plays, I love the matchup. So, guys, get CEH, because there's no Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon's done for the year. He's on the IR. So if Pacheco doesn't play, CEH could be in for a big game, at least in terms of carries and touches. Michael, that lagged way out. You didn't hear your comment. Okay, Michael. Oh, Michael, don't sweat it. I don't think something fishy is going on, but even if it is, if someone wants to win by collusion or shady means, like, you know what they are? They're a tool. Nothing you can do, but the worst thing you can do is to get yourself worked up over something you can't control. So if you want to scream collusion, fine, but it's not going to change too much. I'd let it go. I wouldn't get in my head about it. Majomes, my aunt dated Jim Harbaugh at Palo Alto High. I was so close to field axis. Damn her. You're hilarious, dude. Drew, pick 4. Nico, Etienne, Cooper, and for the moment, I'd go Bijan. Yeah, I don't know about how I feel about Cooper with the Jets defense, but I don't like Pollard this week. I don't like Bijan this week. I don't like Cooper this week. So I had to pick out of that group who I do like. You helped me get to the championship in all 3 of my leagues. Drew, we're a caddy. You're the golfer. You did it. We just gave you some good advice. Congratulations on getting those 3 teams to the championship. Jorge, is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander the MIP, most improved player? The answer is probably no, because he was already so talented. Do I think he actually really raised his game to that extra level? Maybe, but I think there are probably other players who have made a bigger leap. I think Shea's a superstar. I've been saying that, though, for a year and a half. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best players in the NBA that nobody talks about. Frankly, he's one of the best players in the NBA, period. But he's certainly amongst that group of best players that nobody talks about. You know what's crazy? I hear more people tell me that Derek White's underrated than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's underrated. Crazy. Crazy. Shai is a superstar. Everyone needs to get on board. Jorge, he helped me beat him for 650. He does it for the people. Yes, I do. That's why we're here. Butt Fumble Sports. For the people, by the people, amongst the people. You know how it is. Michael, appreciate you. Have a great night. We'll be talking to you soon. Jason, Debo is a great play. I would go Debo over St. Brown. Yep. Nas, let's say Pacheco is out. Pick 2. I'd go Najee and I'd go Cooper. But you won't know about Cooper and Pacheco. It's going to be tough because the Thursday game. So if you wanted to wait out for Pollard, I'd understand. But Najee Harris is actually the one I like the most out of the group you mentioned. Drew, if Chase is out, would you play Higgins over Cooper? Probably not. Probably not. I think I like Cooper a little bit more than Higgins. Both are facing top pass defenses. But I think I like Cooper more. I actually just love the chemistry he has with Flacco. Remember, Flacco is a classic pocket passer. He goes to his wide receiver one, whether they're covered or not. It's kind of his MO. He did in his career with the Ravens. He's doing it now. You saw it even with the Jets last year. He would over-target Garrett Wilson. It's kind of his style. So I don't like Cooper's matchup. I still think Cooper's going to get a ton of targets. We have been live for 45 minutes. We'll be live as long as you guys want. If you want to get your comments or questions in, you have to be a subscriber. Night shows are for subscribers. If you don't want to subscribe, join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Our shows for everybody are weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and the weekends at 10 a.m. Eastern. So if you guys have questions, if you have comments, either subscribe now or join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern because I am live every single day. There's not one day of 2023 I'm not live. So make sure you follow and make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to reiterate what I said a moment ago in case any of you guys who are watching missed it. We want to be better. Butt Fumble Sports wants to make the best sports content possible for all of you watching. So if you have a suggestion, a comment, how we can be better on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, how we can make better videos, how we can give out better advice. If you have criticism, comments, suggestions, advice, we would love to hear from you. We want to be the place you go for your sports content, your sports advice, whether it's sports betting, fantasy football, or DFS. So if you have a way that you think we can be better, I am all ears. Do I think we make a perfect product? Hell no! I think we're continuing to get better. We're trying our best. But if you have a suggestion, I'd love to hear from you. Justin, you gotta be a subscriber to be on the phone lines. Unfortunately, we're not taking calls from non-subscribers. Subscriber-only show tonight, Justin. Keep looking at the camera. I'm almost finished. That is like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Am I going to block you for it? Yeah, probably, because it's like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Someone was just making me out to be a jerk-off face. Yeah, that's ugly. But Jones, suggestions, just for men hair dye, wear a tuxedo. But Jones, I am going gray, you know it. But the tuxedo, I don't need to do that. I got to show off my Butt Fumble Sports merch when I'm not sweating my ass off. Appreciate you being with us, though, Majomes. Appreciate the suggestion. Maybe I'll ask the wardrobe department whether we can get the tuxedo. Drew, I have Thielen and Myers, but also have Cooper. I like the Thielen and Cooper more than I like Jacoby Myers. By the way, Majomes, I love the comment, buddy. I love the comment. If you don't know, I love it. If you guys have a question or a comment, get them in now. Feel like the comments are dying down a little bit. Feel like we're... Oh my God. The frickin' Pelicans, man. Screw the Pelicans. Oh, that's such a terrible loss. That's so bad. You lost 2 games in a row to the Grizzlies. Man, that was a bad loss. I hate the fact that we lost that bet tonight. That pissed me off. Nas, I'd go CEH. Nas, I'd go CEH. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to sign off because I've been on for about 45 minutes and I am sweating over here. Jason, I'd go Debo. Jason, I'd go Debo over Jefferson. Jason, Debo over Jefferson. C-Roll, I trust 2 influencers when it comes to betting and fantasy. Fumbles is one of them. Really appreciate it, C-Roll. Thank you so much. Really kind comments. We hope to be the #1 influencer for you, but we know we got to earn that trust and respect. Really appreciate you watching the show every day over on Twitch. For all of those who want to join our show tomorrow, we will be live at 5 p.m. Eastern, everybody. 5 p.m. Eastern, answering fantasy questions, giving out sports picks. The NHL is back tomorrow, so we'll be giving out some hockey plays. Obviously, we'll be on our countdown to Thursday Night Football, so we'll touch on some Thursday Night Football player prop bets as well. So make sure you guys are following, and make sure you guys join us 5 p.m. tomorrow, everybody. 5 p.m. Eastern is going to be our next show. I hope you guys stay healthy. I hope you stay safe, and I will see you guys at what time tomorrow? 5 p.m. Eastern, guys. I'll see you guys at 5 p.m. Eastern. Until then, have a great night. Thank you, and I'll see you then. Goodbye, everybody.